What is up, Cancer? How are you guys doing? It's time for your weekly check-in. It's time to see what's going on with you guys in the second week of July. So remember, weekly check-ins are just a short, sweet, quick, general, energetic overview. For those of you in need of a personal reading, all the information on how to go about doing that is in the description of this video. Also, y'all, don't forget, we're running our 4th of July sale this week. So this is being live streamed in the first week of July. And from now until July 5th, the weekly live readings are $20, $5 off. You can pre-order a weekly live reading anytime throughout the week. Every Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, we go live and we start off by reading the ones that came in throughout the week. And then once we're done with those, that's when we move on to the ones that are coming in while we're live. So they're $5 off, $20 until that live stream ends on the evening of the 5th. Then they go back to regular price. Also, don't forget to check out them new general readings on my website. Everybody loving them things, man. That's going to be a permanent thing, though. The 4th of July sale is just for the week. My general personal readings, though, that's permanent change I've made. All right, let's jump into this. Let's see what's going on with you and the situation you're dealing with and the person you're dealing with in the first week of July. Or not, no, second week of July. Second week. What's going on with Cancer and the person they're dealing with? Second week of July. Universe. Uh-oh, 9 of Pentacles reversed. I know this isn't all of you, but if you were ever wondering at any point whether or not this person was using you for anything, this is the card for it. This would specifically be the card of somebody using you for money. So if you ever wondered, was that person using me for my money? That's the card for it. Or using you for anything, really. But, I mean, regardless of how this energy manifests itself, gold digger energy, at the end of the day, is surface level, materialistic, superficial energy. I care more about material shit, surface level shit, than a deep, genuine emotional connection. I would rather look good on social media and be miserable than be happy and not look cool on social media. That type of energy, you know what I'm saying? So, let's see here. Boom, boom. For those of you not in communication, I do think this person does want to talk to you. Ooh, we got a karmic tie here. Some of y'all just been repeating the same karmic cycle with this person over and over and over and over. Some of you dealing with an Aquarius, could be a fellow Cancer for some of you. Man, you know what? Mercury retrograde pre-shadow is what we're heading into in the second week of July. And this is just an energetic shit show and a communicative mess. So lots of miscommunications, poor communication. Any communication that there is, there'll probably be a lot of misunderstandings and I don't know, though. It does kind of honestly look like y'all are trying to work on this. Looks like it. But you're getting to the point to where you're a little bit disillusioned, aren't you? You're starting to just get disillusioned by this. Jaded. Just not dumping very many eggs into that basket anymore, are you? Not really. I think you're dealing with somebody that's just very, very stuck in their ways. Very stubborn, very fixed-minded. Refuses to see things from any perspective other than their own. They may not even be fucking capable of seeing things from a perspective other than their own, you know? That's actually, most of the time when you have somebody like that, who's very small-minded and narrow-minded, That's the case more often than not. It's not just that they don't want to see things from your perspective. They don't know how. They don't know how. That takes considerable psychological energy to be able to put your own feelings, beliefs, perceptions, bias, all that shit, put it aside and step into someone else's shoes. You got to be considerably evolved to be able to do that. I don't even think the person you're dealing with is capable of that. Honestly. I don't even think so. I'm not going to lie. Well, let me see what their deepest feelings and intentions are. Do they mean well, or are they just a little shithead? A sneaky, deceitful little fuckbag. What are their intentions and their feelings? Person Cancer's dealing with. Justice reversed. So they very much play the victim, I think. They very much play the victim. Any problem that goes wrong in their life, it's never their fault. Ever. Ever. Even if they blatantly do something to fuck you over, it's your fault. You made them do that. Some of you may think I'm playing. There are a lot of people out there that really think that way. There's a whole lot of people out there. You know how many cheaters out there genuinely believe that it's the other person's fault that they cheated on them? You think I'm fucking with you? There's really people out there who are that sick. You made me cheat on you. It's your fault. It's like going into a store, stealing something and blaming the store owner. You made me steal this because it was too expensive. You made me steal it because I noticed you didn't have any security and it was too expensive and I didn't have any money. So it's your fault. You made me steal it. Same way of thinking. It's the exact same thing. But I mean, all in all, I do kind of think that this person does want to settle down. They want to settle down. I just don't think they know how. This is, again, this is the type of individual that thinks that all the problems would be solved if you just do everything their way. Now, let's pull away from this for a minute and let's be neutral and not take sides. Okay? I don't care who did what. I don't care who's in the wrong, who's in the right, who lied, who didn't, who cheated, who snuck around, who manipulated. I don't care. In order for a relationship to grow, it's not one-sided. It's not one-sided. Let's play devil's advocate for a second and let's pretend that you're the problem. Just for a minute. Well, do you think that if you get to work on yourself and you're the one that makes all the changes, but they don't, do you think that's going to make it work? What do you think is going to happen? Let's say you fucked up big time. You lied, you cheated, you took advantage of them, whoop, 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 whatever, whatever. And you had a come to Jesus moment and realized, damn, man, that was fucked up. I feel horrible for that. You know what? I'm going to make a change. And you do. You really do. You get in there and you dig in and you really start working on yourself. But they don't, because they don't think they have to. They're stepping back there with their arms crossed on some, I don't need to change. I'm not the one that did this. I'm not the one that did that. You're the one that always did this. You're the one that wouldn't do that. I don't need to change. What do you think's going to happen? You really think that's going to fix the problem? No, it won't. Nope. Both people involved have to change frequencies to move to a new timeline. So, without pointing fingers and taking sides, I know that a lot of times I do the best I can to try to side with the person I'm reading with if I can. Sometimes I can't, but I try to. But without taking sides, it don't matter who did what. Even if you were the primary antagonist for the majority of the problems, you doing everything their way, that still ain't gonna fucking work. It ain't the way it works. So, yeah. Let's get the advice here. Let's get the advice. What's the advice for Cancer? Okay, well, you know what? Don't even consider going there. If we can't sit down and have an adult-ass fucking conversation and both agree that we need to work on this. I work on me, you work on you. None of us are perfect humans. If you're walking around on two legs on planet Earth and you think you ain't got nothing you need to work on, you are sorely mistaken. We're all regular humans. We all got a toxic trait or two. We all got a red flag or two. We all got some unhealed trauma. We all got some kind of emotional trigger that needs to be worked on. We all do. Anybody that thinks they've known is full of shit. So here's what we got to do. We got to sit down and have a conversation. I'm going to be open, honest, and vulnerable about the shit I need to work on. I'm going to hear you out without getting defensive. And you need to do the same. You need to hear me out without being defensive. And you need to be open and vulnerable and honest about the shit you need to work on. We need to at least have that conversation. Now, the conversation is just one thing. Whether or not you see effort being put towards that, that's a different story. But we need to have that conversation first. Don't even consider it. Don't even fucking consider it unless we have that conversation first. And then cross the next bridge when you get to it. All right, let's see what's coming in next for the singles. What's coming in next for the singles? Boom. What's coming in next for the single Cancers? Anything good coming in? Boom. Boom. Oh, King of Pentacles reversed. Four of Cups reversed. Okay. Page of Wands. Yeah, I do see you connecting with somebody. I do, but with the Four of Cups here, you may want to pass on this opportunity here. King of Pentacles reversed. I don't know, maybe this person is just kind of going through a rough patch in life, maybe. You know, maybe having some financial issues, which that's okay. I mean, but it kind of just feels like this person may just be, okay, how am I going to word this? So, there's a difference between going through a rough patch in life and firmly making the decision that you're not going to work to improve that rough patch in your life. You know what I'm saying? And I think this person kind of aligns with the latter. So it's like, hey, you got some financial issues going on? That's cool. We can change that. We can change that. We can build something together. Hey, I don't know who needs to hear this. I don't care what somebody's financial status is. That can change in a heartbeat. That can change in a heartbeat. You broke? Cool. Well, are you goal-oriented? Do you have drive and ambition to at least try to do better? We can look into starting a business together. We can try to build something together. It could change in an instant. I don't care if you're a millionaire. That can change in an instant. Oh, I don't care how much motherfucking money somebody has. Don't underestimate the universe's ability to rip the rug out from under any fucking body on this planet. Things can change in an instant. What you want to look for is whether or not somebody is goal-oriented. Doesn't really look like this person's all that goal-oriented. King of Pentacles reversed. Page of Wands. And I think you can kind of tell, that this person just seems like it's more than they're just stuck in a rough place in their life. It's like you don't really see them ever trying to climb out of it, It's kind of what this energy looks like. Plus, they're still carrying past vibrational baggage, got unhealed heartbreak, and, again, none of these things are bad as long as you're willing to work past it. And I don't know, 4 of Cups, you may pass on this, honestly. You very well may. Could be a Virgo for some of you. Could be anybody, that's just an energy. Could be a fellow Cancer for some of you. Okay. Yeah. Well, let me see this person's feelings, energies, and intentions. Hang on. I'm feeling that deck. There we go. Okay. Good old Tarot Illuminati. Strange deck, I'm not going to lie. Any aspiring readers out there? This is one of those decks that I can only handle in small doses. I'll break it out every now and then, but too much of it, and it's just too much. I don't even know how to explain it. If you're an aspiring reader, grab you up one of these and you'll see that you can, I don't know, I can only handle it in small doses. I can't use it day in and day out. It's just too much. Too much, too chaotic, I don't know how to explain it. You have to see the artwork to know what I'm talking about. But I feel like it wants to work with me for this spread here. Okay, well, okay, here we go again with intentions. I've been having to explain this almost every time I read intentions. And probably the reason why I have to explain it is because they have good intentions, but I don't think they know how to channel those intentions. Does that make sense? They mean well. They really do mean well. I really honestly think that this person wants nothing more than to settle down in a long-term, healthy, successful relationship with the Devil and the Seven of Swords both reversed, along with the Five of Pentacles. Yes, they still hold on to a lot of fear, insecurities. Page of Wands again, a little bit immature. They don't really know what it is that they want. So a classic example of somebody who's stuck in the fairy tale happily ever after mindset, that, things suck in life right now, but as soon as the right person shows up, that's what's going to fix everything. That mindset. I think we've all fallen into that, at some point, just because of the movies and shit we see and the shit we hear about in the music. It completely leads us to believe that that's the way it goes. All things are going hard, but once the right person shows up, that's going to fix everything. So when you're stuck in that mindset, you kind of trick yourself into believing that somebody's going to come save you. I'm not saying that that's what you think on a conscious level, but on an unconscious level, that is very much The mindset that somebody else is going to save me one day. Once the right person shows up, everything's going to be better, you know? And it just simply doesn't work that way. First of all, you're not even a vibrational match to your person, but I'm not getting into that right now. This person means well. They mean well. But if you look at it from the perspective of, okay, well, let's say a well-intentioned, healthy, good, valuable person of honesty, respect, and integrity does show up in your life. Okay, now realistically, then what? Then what? Can you paint a picture in your mind, a realistic picture in your mind of exactly how things are just gonna get better? They're not. Oh no, they're not. They're not just gonna get better. That outlook, if you're just kicking your feet back and waiting for love to lift you up out of the, all that's gonna do is turn into a fucking tornado and slam you into a brick wall. That's what it's gonna do. But they don't know that though. So they're not, it's not like they're going into it with that mindset. So their intentions are solid, but they're very ignorant and naive. And I'm not saying that to be judgy. I'm not saying that makes them a bad person. They just don't know, you know? So let's get the advice. How much time we got? Okay, let's get the advice here. Boom, 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 boom. What deck do I want? How about Spanish Rider-Waite? This is one of my favorites. I love good old traditional Rider-Waite, but I found one in Spanish. I know YouTube is doing that stupid mirror image bullshit now, but that's written in Spanish. I just think it's cool. You know, traditional, yet a little bit different, you know? All right. What's the advice for Cancer? Well, don't wait around too long. How about that? Hang on. Let me see what else comes through. Boom, King of Swords. Okay. Well, I mean, if you're wondering, I want to kind of try to meet you in the middle. I don't want to say just take off running, but I also don't want to say jump in head first. There's nothing wrong with, you know, wanting to kind of step back and assess the situation, especially if you're suspicious that you may be dealing with somebody that just straight up doesn't really add value to your life. And you can't add value to theirs. Because I got news for you. It doesn't matter how valuable you are. If you ain't dealing with somebody that has the desire to do better in their own life, you can't add value to their life. You can't add value to somebody's life unless they're willing to welcome that in, you know? So if it doesn't really appear as though there will be an equal exchange of value, an equal give and take exchange, then don't do it. I would let them know though what it is you're looking for, you know? Be cool about it, you know? Be polite, you know? But just let it be known. You know, it's all good if you're in a rough place. Hey, I ain't got nothing wrong with that. But we gonna be working to climb up out of that shit. We at least gonna be trying. I'm not saying that we have to be fucking multimillionaires next year, but we gonna be working. We gonna be grinding. We're gonna be doing something. You work at Taco Bell? Okay, cool. Well, let's start a business together. Let's sit down together and research. Let's talk about the things you're into, the things that I'm into. You know, let's sit down together and research different business ideas and, you know, different little hustles that we can do online or something, and you know, let's fucking build something together. We're gonna build. You want to be a part of my life? We're gonna be a team. We're gonna build together. We're not just gonna leech off of each other and try to vampirically suck love from each other just to distract ourselves from our own fucking mind because we can't stand being alone. No, fuck that. There needs to be an equal give and take exchange of value, right? I do what you suck at, you do what I suck at. And then we bring that together and build something together, you know? If you don't think that that's even possible, then don't do it. Don't do it. Ask yourself this, and this is an open-ended question. This isn't rhetorical. What's worse? Being alone or being with somebody that holds you back from reaching your full potential? What's worse? What would you rather? Would you rather be in a relationship with somebody that just weighs you down and holds you back just because you can't stand being by yourself? Just because you can't stand the sound of your own thoughts? All right, which is worse? Open-ended question. I'm not saying that there's a right or wrong answer to that, but just think about that. All right, y'all. I feel like those were the messages that my Cancerian family needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, information for personal readings is in the description. Don't forget, this week we're running our 4th of July sale. $5 off the weekly live readings, so $20. $20 weekly live readings this week. Remember, you can pre-order a weekly live reading anytime throughout the week. Every Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, we go live and we start reading the pre-orders that came in throughout the week. And then once we're done with the pre-orders, we move on to the ones that are coming in while we're live. Okay? And this week only, they're $20. So, and they'll stay $20 while we're live. But then after we end that live stream, they go back to regular price. So, also don't forget to check out my new general personal readings. Those things are hot as fire right now, dude. Everybody's loving them things. Everybody. I had no idea it was going to get that kind of response. Makes me feel so stupid for not doing this a long time ago. You live and learn, I guess. But I'm like, holy shit, I didn't think very many people would give a shit. Oh, everybody's loving that. So, yeah, that's a permanent change, though. So the 4th of July sale is a temporary thing. The general personal readings, that's permanent. That'll be on my website from this point moving forward. All right, y'all, I'm out of here now. I'll see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.